Hi there, in this tutorial I'll be talking to you about the basics of zones, and basically we'll go through what they are and how you can use them. So first off, to find the zones in our library tab underneath markers, near the bottom we have basically all the zones that we can use in the game. And we have a heal zone, hurt zone, win zone, trigger zone, sound zone, and story zone. So of course, we'll start at the top here. Heal zone basically makes it so when a player comes into this zone, which is basically one unit, as if I click it you'll see it's just a square. So say if the player goes in this heal zone here, the player is going to get healed basically, let's say 1 health, every 0.5 seconds or something. Next we have our hurt zone. This is the opposite of the heal zone, so basically the player is going to get hurt whenever he or she runs into this zone. Underneath them we have our win zone. So basically our win zone means once the player steps into this box here, this level is going to be complete. So it could mean completion of your game, or it could mean completion of your level. Depends on if you have multiple levels or if you have objective set up or not. We'll be taking a look at this stuff later on. But to continue on here, we have our trigger zone. So basically what this means is whenever a player comes into this zone, they're going to trigger an event. You can code these events yourself. We'll go through how to make some, and I'll show you how to use some ones that I think are creative or something, but you'll basically be able to make your own events. Underneath our trigger we have our sound zone, which basically whenever a player gets in this zone, a sound is going to play. You can have it loop, you can have an ambient sound, or you can just have like a sound effect or something. Finally we have the story zone, which basically means is whenever a player walks into this zone, what's going to appear is a movie that you put into the game, or you could put a couple of images in, whatever. Basically, whenever a player comes in here, basically the game will get paused, and he or she is going to see some kind of story in front of them. So basically, the only thing that some people probably will find trouble with is expanding zones over multiple layers or over multiple units. And what I mean by this is, let's say I go down a layer here. So if you look at this room here, we have a 2x2 room here, which basically, let's pretend I want the player to get hurt when they come into this room. So if I click on my hurt zone, you'll notice that it's only one unit. Now if I hold down my shift key on my keyboard, left click, and then start dragging, I can basically make this zone as long or as wide as I want. Now if I press the plus or minus button on my keyboard as well, I can drag it up, basically up a layer or down a layer. So let's say I drag it up and I let go of my left click, you'll see that I now have a 2x2, 2 wide, 2 high, and 2 deep hurt zone. So that will cover all the stretching that you will need to do in your zones. So in the upcoming tutorials we'll be taking a look at each one of these different zones. So we'll see you then.